So let's start again our discussion related to GST update. So friends, from the last month or in the last month, we had discussed about mainly about the budget related update or budget discussion. Some of the video on that also pending. So we will record that also. But now at least start our update. So from many weeks, we had not discussed a weekly update on account of budget discussion and GST annual and audit. So let's start for GST update. In this video, we are going to discuss last month key update. So first key update is related to LUT. So now online portal or LUT application, or you can make the LUT application on online portal, and the tab for the financial year 21-22 is now available on the online portal for making the application of the LUT. So friends, many times exporter forgot to make the application of the LUT. It's a very minimum work, so but many times of the LUT application, as it is a procedural part, it get missed, and because of that a huge liability can arise. Definitely that liability can also be litigated because LUT is one of the procedural part and the substantial right cannot take away due to the procedural part. But why to litigate? So please do the LUT application before 31st March, so that from 1st April 2021 you can export the goods and services without GST with the cover of LUT, and there is no any litigation, at least with respect to procedural part. So this is a key update for the LUT, and which is applicable to all exporters. Second key discussion, or in the last month, many discussions are in many news report, the discussion about the Bitcoin trading. So it is likely to that or likely to attract the GST at the rate of 18% of the Bitcoin trading. In this regard, as per the as per the Honorable Finance Minister's statement, it is said that the virtual currencies are not backed by the government, and hence it cannot be virtual currency cannot be the currencies or cannot be treated as a currencies. In addition to that, it also being described as a coin. However, there is a no physical existence or the physical attribute to these coins. Therefore, where it can be said that or as per the finance minister's statement, it can be said that the virtual currency is neither virtual currencies are neither the currencies and neither the coin. And according to this view, there is likely to attract the GST at the rate of 18%. So more about the what is virtual currency, whether it is can be treated as an intangible asset under the income tax, or whether under GST it can be the service, because under GST service definition is wide, or anything other than goods is a service. So it can be treated as a service. So more about the virtual currencies and Bitcoin trading, we are going to record separate video on that in days to come. So this is about the discussion of the Bitcoin trading in the last month. One of the another one recently, it is discussed about the inverted duty structure. So in coming month or in coming GST council meeting, so date is not yet fixed, but in coming GST council meeting, the government is going to consider the anomaly with respect to inverted duty structure. So first of all, what is inverted duty structure? So friends, in case of inverted duty structure, your output or the output supply is chargeable at the lower rate, whereas your input is at the higher rate. For example, your output is, let's say, chargeable at the 5%. However, you are purchasing the input at the rate of 12%, 28%, 18%, etc. In such a cases, accumulated credit. So industries are having an accumulated credit. Because of that, working capital can get blocked even a number of years. So this anomaly, or definitely there is a refund under this under the GST in this situation, but that refund also take a time. So because of that, the government is going to discuss in the coming GST council meeting related to the inverted duty structure. One of the suggestion under consideration in the meeting is related that in case of inverted duty structure, it can be corrected either by reducing the GST on the input. So input GST rate can be reduced, and output or alternatively output GST rate can be increased, so that whatever the inputs GST or inputs purchased with the GST, that set off is available to the output. So these two suggestions are before the GST council. So we will discuss the any proceedings or any discussion in whenever that happened in the GST Council. So this is also one of the key aspects wherever industry is having the outward supply with the lower GST rate and inputs with the higher GST rate. That is the inverted duty structure. Now, third discussion is related to hospitals or update related to hospitals. So friends, it is observed that the tax authorities, definitely hospitals and whatever services provided to the patients are exempt under the GST. This is the consideration. But recently the tax authorities are taking the contradictory view. So they are treating the services provided by the doctors to the patient or directly to the patient differently than the services provided by the doctor to the patient through the hospitals. That means services provided by the hospitals to the patients. So these services they are treating separately. So according to the tax authorities, whatever the services or the whatever the consultant or the consultant doctor advises to a patient in a hospital on behalf of hospital can be treated as an intermediary, and these two services are different. So in days to come, on such a services, treating it as an intermediary can, they are treating, or tax authorities are taking a position that the GST would be applicable. Definitely these two services should not be treated as a separate, in our view, should not be separate. But because of this view of the authorities, in days to come litigation, we will see the litigation in such a sector wherein earlier there is no any litigations as the whatever services provided by hospitals, or whatever the litigation is very minimal. But now we will hospitals are also required to face the litigation in the days to come, and required to substantiate to the authorities their view why that service is also exempted, and why that will also covered in the primary service or primary exemption list. So this is about the hospitals and levy of GST regarding to hospitals. So these are the certain procedural aspects and the news related or news related to GST. Now we will discuss the two critical cases of last month, which would be relevant to many of the taxpayer. First is related to first is appellate advance ruling, wherein Karnataka, or this is related to the license office. So in the case of Karnataka appellate advance ruling has recently ruled that the license office or the license offices of the multinational company will not attract the GST. So friends, in this regard, on the 8th October, advance ruling authorities earlier had said that the license officers or the whatever the activities provided by the license officer are undertaken by the license officers on the behalf of applicant is a supply and liable to GST, and they has to register. However, that case is filed to the appellate advance ruling, and now the appellate or Karnataka's appellate or advance ruling authorities given in favor of the decision, and it is said that whatever the services provided by the license office is not treated as a supply, should not be such supply, and they're not required to register. So it's definitely many of the license officer can get relief on account of this advance ruling. But keep in mind that the advance ruling pronounced is applicable to the particular assessee. So whatever the assessee has gone for the advance ruling, and not to all the assessees. So definitely department is going to take the different view, even though we are having a favorable advance ruling authority or advance ruling decision. So if you intend to decide, so it should be decide applicability of the GST case to case. Now, second case again, which can be relevant to many of the taxpayers. So friends, nowadays transfer verification has examined, or verification are going from the last 2 years. So authorities are doing the transfer verification from last 2 years, but because of lockdown, some transfer verifications were pending, and now authorities again started for the transfer verification. So recently, one of the Madras High Court decision with respect to transfer or verdict with respect to transfer has pronounced, and that can be relevant in many of the cases and can be referred. So in these cases, the Madras High Court, the Madras High Court has allowed the petition wherein the inadvertent error has made while filing of the trans 1. So at the time of the filing of the trans 1, they had made an inadvertent error by entering the details of the column in 7 days. So their column or declaration of the credit in different column than the whatever the applicable column. So they made the declaration of the credit in the 7D column instead of 7A. But based on the decision of the Bluebird Pure Private Limited, they had allowed the trans 1 petition and directed the authorities to correct the accordingly. So you can refer the judgment of Ram Auto in this regard, and this can be referred during the trans 1 verification also. So again, this is